Hello and welcome. I am so glad that you are here. My name is Lindsay Saldana. I am a pelvic floor treating physical therapist. I graduated with my doctorate in physical therapy in 2016. I married a classmate, Henry, and we have one son. And I'm really passionate about helping women, especially women who are pregnant, postpartum, or experiencing any pelvic floor symptoms. I'm so proud of you for starting this journey or even being curious as to your options. So, let's take a few moments and get into it. And let me explain a little bit about my process and why I'm different than other therapists you might meet. Let's talk a little bit about how to get started. Now, I mentioned being a little bit curious. So, the first step is schedule a phone consultation with me. I do this free of charge. The goal behind the phone consultation is for us to get to know one another. I want to hear all about your symptoms, your goals, potential treatments that you've had. Maybe you've had therapy and it didn't work and you feel frustrated. And then there's also specific barriers that you might have, whether it be work, family, just habits, life, everything gets in the way. I want to hear about it. And during that phone consultation, we can discover if I think that an evaluation would be warranted. Now, an in person or virtual evaluation would consist of us digging a little bit deeper, getting a little bit more data for us to build a plan of care off of. And I am going to do head to toe. So if you have hip pain, back pain, knee pain, or maybe you are a weightlifter, a runner, or into CrossFit, I want to see the movements that you are doing that elicit your symptoms. So there is one thing that I've discovered in working in physical therapy clinics for several years before I jumped ship and did my own thing. There are quite a few different problems that you might see in a generic standard physical therapy clinic. So I get this generic script from a physician or referring provider, and it's usually very generic. It says 2 times a week for 6 weeks, evaluate and treat. And the problem with that is that that's not what everyone needs. But it is what insurance will pay for. And so that's the trouble here is that you get boxed in to a standard generic referral, and then you get the same treatment that a lot of people have been getting for the last, 6 weeks or so. And it takes time away from your family because 2 in-person sessions a week, that's time there, getting a childcare or a babysitter, commuting, and a lot of times traffic's pretty horrible, or work. Like, imagine if you had to fit your family time in before or after work, and then try to fit time in to go to the therapist or go, and then on top of that, go to the gym. And also, you're only going to be given a few minutes with your physical therapist. Now, you might get lucky and they might not be as booked or, as scheduled out as intensely as some might be. But generally, I only had about 15, 20 minutes to talk with my clients before I had to pass them off to some supportive staff member, tech, or someone like that, usually to run them through the same exercises they've been doing, because we just don't have a lot of time to dig deeper and really find out what this person needs and what can get them better. And then when you think about it, if you're relying on only in-person sessions to get you better, and nothing else happens in between those sessions, that's really only 1.7% of your week. That's not very much time. I also noticed that in the standard physical therapy clinics, there is limitations with equipment. So if you are an active woman and you want to build muscle and get strong and participate in any form of sport like CrossFit, or maybe you do weightlifting or bodybuilding, or you go to the gym and you lift weights, or you do, a kickboxing class, or you like to hike, there's just not enough equipment in the clinics that we work in. So squat racks, not enough weight to actually load the bar for deadlifts, and things like that. And then in between sessions, you are on your own. You don't get any guidance. You don't get any help. Well, what if an exercise or a movement really makes you nervous? Or maybe it hurts a little bit, but they just tell you to do it anyway. So all of these limitations helped me develop a solution for this. So for this solution, I follow a more holistic approach. Now, everyone says holistic, but what does it actually mean? So holistic means more of a total body approach, and that's physical, emotional, mental. I'm not a mental health provider, but I can help with lifestyle changes, habits that really make a difference in the day to day. And there's more to your health and wellness, especially with pelvic floor, that involves hydration, your bladder habits, your food and drink choices. It all matters. And so we take all of that and combine it and blend it into a form of fitness as well. Because if you're going to be going to the gym anyway, why not make it therapeutic, right? In the solution, I have developed basically a new product because according to the old solution that had all those problems, this new product follows this model. So in this model, we have a combination of in-person sessions paired with a mobile app, which is our delivery system for exercises. So you can take your phone to the gym, pull up the app, and follow the exercise videos, mark it as complete to let your therapist know that you've done it. You can add comments if you have any questions. You can message me, and I'm going to hold you accountable and I'm going to help you modify. And you will have support in between sessions. Now, if we do any sort of hands-on for your in-person sessions, sometimes people don't need as much hands-on support. And a lot of times they shouldn't really rely on it too much anyway, because over time, we really want to train you on how to help yourself. So that's my goal. So I've broken this down a little bit to be a little bit more clear. We've built this foundation on your exercise program, making sure that it's holistic, meaning it's not just exercise. It's going to include habits, your whole body, your food and nutrition, like I mentioned before. And then on top of that, we're going to hold you accountable. You are going to have access to me. You're going to almost have like a PT in your pocket where you could pull out your app, send me a text message if something doesn't feel right. And more often than not, I'm going to respond within that same day. And then these kind of build habits and mindset. And all of this helps you achieve your goals and you'll get the outcomes that you're hoping for. So I know this can sound like a lot, but if we truly want to set this expectation out that you're going to get the results that you want, it is important to say that a lot of time, commitment, and consistency go into getting you the results that you want. If you can envision yourself doing the competition or the race or participating in that CrossFit class or just running after your kids at the park without peeing your pants. If you can envision that, we can build a program for you with these foundational principles that can get you there. And not only that, but get you practicing this for a lifetime, because I promise it, there is no one tiny solution that's going to be a perfect lifelong change. Our bodies are constantly changing, whether it's pregnancy, postpartum, hormonal changes. There's perimenopause, menopause, and then going into our aging years where we definitely need to have these habits put in place well before that to build the muscle mass, to build the bone density, and create a lifelong resiliency. So I know this is an investment into yourself. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for exploring this with me, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat soon.